So it's a balanced paper that brings this information as well as the opinion making that its columnists they describe in their columns, and I appreciate the columns that and all the column writers. Many are sitting here, and I would appreciate their outlook at the problems, how they see the problems back home, and what issues and concerns that are there which the Pakistani community confronts here. And on behalf of Government of Pakistan, I would like to say that Government of Pakistan has always stood for the freedom of expression. There had been some dark eras within the dictatorships. Apart from that, the path that the media enjoys there in Pakistan is that of freedom. And since about a decade now, the media is totally independent. There are so many news channels and newspapers they can write against the government. They can, and that's how they by criticizing the government, they give suggestions to the government and gives their opinion to the government in order for the government to look at its actions. And it is a very healthy activity. And the flourishing of so many news channels in Pakistan, the newspapers, it's the environment there is very conducive for sharing and learning about each other's opinions, and that gives the balanced approach to the policy makers to follow. I congratulate all the team members of the Umeed newspaper, and also my best wishes for the TV channel that you launched, and I think that is following the same footsteps. And once again, thank you very much for inviting me and becoming a part of this August gathering. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words, and above all, your presence here. Now it's time to invite our another honorable guest, who is MP from Park X Riding. Everybody, every Pakistani knows his face very well, because he always encouraged, he always supported all occasions, all events of Pakistani community. I think Sir Rifat Noor Saab want to say something.
Sania, thank you very much. You already said anything and everything about Mr. Jerry. We are fortunate enough, and he is fortunate enough too.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Consul General, always an honor to be with you. And I was just reminding the Consul General, we were just speaking a little bit before that about how when he had just come in from Pakistan, in his posting, he was confronted with a humongous challenge, because just as he came in, we remember the horrible floods that ravaged the country, and where we had as a community to come together, to work together. And I just remember telling him, he lived his baptism by fire, if you want, into the role of Consul General. And he did a remarkable job, and it's always a pleasure to have him here at the events. And a message back to Pakistan from the community here. You can tell them that Jerry Sklavounos, who represents the majority of the Pakistani community in Quebec, wants Pakistan to know that the Pakistani spirit, the Pakistani culture, the faith, the Muslim faith, which is so dear to the community, is thriving and advancing, and the community is growing every day in Park Extension and elsewhere. Take that message back to Pakistan so they can know that. Along with all the other great things that the community does and that the community will do in the future, distinguished guests, is the key comes through information. We could have not helped and provided the aid we provided to Pakistan had we not had channels of information. Channels of information to bring up to date the people on a regular basis as to what was going on, what efforts, how they could get involved, where they could give help, how they could give money. Weekly Umeed and Samir Ajiz and his team played an extraordinary role. I thought 2 years went by very, very quickly, but they play an extraordinary role on a regular basis because Pakistan is faced with enormous challenges, and we were speaking about this with the consul. Pakistan today is squeezed in between the Western world, the United States, this war on terror, and its neighbors. And it's a crucial, crucial, crucial point. And the Pakistani people are paying an enormous price for it. An enormous price. And they require our support and they require our solidarity. And as a community, the diaspora of the Pakistani community in Park Extension, in Montreal, in Quebec, and Canada, you have an enormous role to play. To sensitize not only the community and the youth, because you have to prepare your youth for the future, to take over the newspapers, to take over the organizations, to take over the community, but also your neighbors. Because not everybody, not all Canadians, not all Quebecers, not all Montrealers understand the enormous sacrifice that the Pakistani people are making, not only for themselves, in large part for the rest of the world today. And you have that role as a Pakistani diaspora in a foreign land which has become your country and which has given you a new home, to play that role so that people understand the enormous role and the importance of the role that Pakistan is playing in the world. At the same time, the weekly Umeed, and I'm sure Umeed TV also, which is newly launched and which will play a huge role in the future, plays a huge role in creating the link between the community here and the events in Pakistan, and at the same time, because it covers local news. I've seen my face on numerous occasions in that newspaper. I have difficulty with the Urdu still. I'm working on it. It's not easy. It's very different than Greek. But I'm working on it. You have an enormous obligation to all those who don't master French and English well enough to follow on the regular. And you do that in a noble way. Zamir and his team and all the writers, you do it in a noble way. You do it with responsibility. You do it objectively. And objective, responsible information is noble. Because Mr. Consul General, Mr. Consul General mentioned that there have been periods of time when information has not always been free, and this is not only in Pakistan, it's in many countries. And Greece has had its share of a number of years of dictatorship and censorship, etc., etc. Let's never take for granted how lucky we are to live in a place, in a country, in a place where we can share information freely, where we can express dissent freely, and we can strengthen each other. Information is power and information is strength. And the weekly Umeed plays a central role for the Pakistani community on that front, the information front, and information is power for the community and for the future generations. So for this second year anniversary, I wish you all the very best. I know there are going to be many more anniversaries that I'm going to be at, because as previously mentioned, I plan to with your support, maintain my presence in Laurier Dorion. I thank you for the kind words about Premier Jean Charest. I think one of the next economic missions has to be to Pakistan.
That's right.
I've been hearing a lot of talk about that. We've got to take an economic mission to Pakistan, because there's enormous potential there. There's enormous potential. But for that, we have to continue to work together. We have to continue to respect each other mutually, show each other support. And in terms of a street or a park or something, we've got We've got to think about that. We've got to do something nice. The Pakistani community deserves that. Deserves that. It doesn't all depend on me, but of course, my recommendation will always be a positive one, because the Pakistanis are the future of Park Extension, of Montreal, of Quebec, and of Canada. So I wish you a wonderful, wonderful evening. Unfortunately, as is my regular conundrum, everybody decided to fix their events on the same night, so I unfortunately won't be able to stay to celebrate. Unfortunately, I'll have to go. It's my pleasure also for the second time this year to be at a Pakistani event with my beautiful wife, Yannicka, who accompanies me and who, I think she's worth about 10,000 votes herself, so I mean,
That's why
I mean, I've got the Pakistani community, I got my wife, I win the election, I don't have to worry. So, and it's a pleasure, and when I told her it was the Pakistani community, she says to me, you know, I want to be there. So, she's become a friend of the community as I am, and I thank you very much for the opportunity to celebrate this occasion with you. Look forward to celebrating many more, to your families, and tomorrow for your very important holiday, Eid al-Adha. All the best to you, your families, health, prosperity, to the community, and I look forward to celebrating with you many, many more anniversaries, Zamir, and to his team for the weekly Umeed and Umeed TV. Have an excellent evening. Shukriya. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.
Mr. Jari, thank you very much. Now, the other thing I would like to say that I was listening very carefully about Pakistan, the concern and the reality, how much the world is not understanding the Pakistani problems. The important thing is this: I'm very happy that you understood the situation. And I hope that one day in the National Assembly, when you go back and you talk with your friends, that you will show your concern, you will express the same opinion what you are sharing with us. And I am sure something is in your power. At the National Assembly, there are so many buildings. I was in many years, Ministry of Education building. You can have some libraries for Pakistan. You can, under the Pakistan name. You can have anything you can have it. Within your jurisdiction, the rest, the city government depends on you. I know that, so it's not difficult. Thank you. Now, Sunny would like to say something.
Thank you so much. Now, it's a time to give as a slogan of our appreciation for their presence. I would request Mr. Zamir Ajiz to stand up and give certificates of honor to these our chief guests. So, Nimra, would you please come on the stage to bring that certificate? So first, I would like Mr. Usman Chacher to please receive this certificate of honor. In your big applause, Mr. Usman Chatter.
Actually, it is you who should be receiving the certificate for doing this.
Yes, that's true. He gonna receive something from some friends. I heard that some friends, they brought something for him too. So definitely he gonna receive that too. Here we have certificate of an honor for Usman Chacher, sir. Thank you so much. Now, I would request Mr. Jerry to please come and receive this certificate of honor. Mr. Jerry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
This is
much.
going up in my office.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
I would request these honorable guests to please have seat just for a few moments, because now it's time to distribute these certificates of appreciation to team. So it will take, I guess, more 5 or 10 minutes. So please have seat. Sure. And I would request Mr. Rifat Noor Sahab to announce these names.
first of all, I would like to say thank you very much, Sania, for your hard work. Always you are with us, and this certificate definitely goes and expresses our concern that how much we appreciate you. This certificate is going to Ms. Sania Kamar. Zamir Raj ko de dijiye. Now this time for Mr. Daud Jan to come forward, please, and accept his certificate. Mr. Daud Jan. Now I request Mr. Akhtar Nasim, please.
Now for Mr. Nasir Zahir, or I would request Mr. Zamir Ajiz to say some words for all members of his team, so he can say a few words. For
सबसे
Mr.
पहले
Nasir Zahir.
नासिर ज़हीर साहब उनकी हमेशा हौसला अफजाई रही है मेरी उम्मीद न्यूज़पेपर को प्रमोट करने में। ये उर्दू टाइम से इनका ताल्लुक़ है और बहुत ही
I would request Mr. Usman Tajul to please give these certificates to. Yes. Okay. This one Mr. Nasir Zahir. Mr. Zafar Mahmood Khan.
ये हमारे कानूनी निगार हैं, बहुत अच्छा लिखते हैं और तेज से लिखते हैं। इनका भी शुक्रिया, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
Mahmood Raza Beg.
ये पहले दिन से उम्मीद के साथ है, बीच में एक दो महीने स्टार्ट हो गए पाकिस्तान चले गए। बहुत अच्छा सियासत के बारे में बहुत अच्छा लिखते हैं। थैंक यू भाई साहब।
Zamir Khan Sahab. Mr. Zamir Khan.
ज़मीर खान साहब गज़ल लिखते हैं, शायर हैं बहुत अच्छे और पहले दिन से हमारे साथ हैं। ज़मीर खान साहब, थैंक यू। थैंक यू।
Mr. Zahir Ali. Mr. Zahir Ali.